Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. And today, a much requested short video. If you guys missed my collection goals, what was it? Collection goals, Grail goals, collection goals for this and next year. Do have a look. And I mentioned that I've started doing this, wearing a Casio on my strap. For merely out of practicality. It is incredibly useful. So some of you asked how I did that. We'll get into that in a moment. And I also want to share some other ways of being able to have more than one watch on your person to really maximize the enjoyment. Guys, this is not for everybody, so don't worry, but let's be positive. Let's not poo-poo each other's enjoyment or possibility of enjoying watches more. It's so important. Guys, don't forget to like this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. The most obvious is, of course, doing the Schwarzkopf method, named in honor of the famous general who would wear a watch on each wrist. While I myself have done this in the past, it can be a little odd looking and certainly can take a lot of getting used to, especially if you don't wear a watch on the other wrist. However, the immediate benefit is obvious as you can add a ton of functionality. Storming Norman himself utilized this to keep track of multiple time zones, local time where he was deployed on one wrist and Pentagon time on the other to keep coordinated. So the second method is to keep a second watch in your pocket, but that can be problematic. Keys can scratch it, etc. So I devised this solution, which we'll go into in just a second. Because if anything, you're like me, you like to switch watches up throughout the day, or perhaps you're wearing a beater and then you need something more formal, but you don't want to carry a bag, or you don't want to go home to get the other watch, etc. So this is what I came up with. This is precisely the reason I co-designed the Unico Case with master leather goods manufacturer Carl Friedrik. After testing dozens of sizes and designs, the Unico was the culmination of being tested on hundreds of watches and pockets in a vast variety of different sizes to find the right fit. The catch to close it is so it doesn't accidentally open when you're pulling it out of the pocket, like a more conventional button can undo accidentally. The softer suede interior designed not to scratch the watch, as was the pillow, all constructed with their renowned robust stitching and luxury high-quality vachetta Italian leather to last the generations. But the obvious downside is you don't get the immediate functionality of having it on your wrist. Okay, so there's a link for that in the description, and that brings me to the third method, which I'm going to call in honor of Buzz Aldrin. This is the Buzz Aldrin. We have the Schwarzkopf, now we have the Buzz. There we go. And in fact, actually, I think he wears 3 watches because he has another watch on the other wrist. I'm not quite that level of eccentricity quite yet, but yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, let's get into it. So the iconic Casio F-91W is the best solution and works better than any other watch for 4 main reasons. Firstly, it's cheap as chips, well, a Shake Shack meal at least. If it does get damaged, it's inexpensive and easy to replace. Secondly, you now have a wide choice of colors to match your watch. The newer grey matte monochromatic variant suits my Tudor Submariner perfectly, for example. Or let's say you had a green Captain Willard, you could go with the olive green, and so on. Thirdly, it has everything you need. An alarm, calendar, stopwatch, backlight, and then you can use the main time as a second time zone, like a GMT of sorts. The fourth reason is the most crucial. Unlike the larger W217H, for example, size is everything. The Casio F-91W is so thin at 8mm tall, when wearing it on the underside of your wrist, you simply don't notice it's there. It's no thicker than the clasp of your average bracelet. It's also discreet and not as eccentric as wearing a watch on each wrist, but it is just as quickly accessible as if you were. So how does one fit it to your strap? Well, it's surprisingly easy, but there are a few things you need to know to get it into the position just right, especially on the underside where it will be placed. Then remove the plastic strap, pushing out the pins in the direction indicated by the arrow on the back of the strap. The lug width of the Casio is 18mm, but you can use it with a NATO strap thin enough so you can squeeze in a 20mm strap. Perfect for a Rolex Explorer, Submariner, most Omega Seamasters, etc. and so on. Unfortunately, the Valor and El Alamein straps I designed for Risk County Watch Club are too thick. Therefore, if you do want to wear those, I recommend buying some 18mm curved spring bars, or like me, purchase some Phoenix straps off eBay. You may also want to cut off and flame seal the extra fold over strap for extra comfort. I do this with most of my NATO straps. Just makes it wear a little bit more slender. Now, Phoenix are kind of expensive, but for those of you who don't know, they were the original British-made manufacturers of the very first NATO straps, and I love them. And they're still made to the original MOD mil spec, that's military specifications, to this day. So if you want the real thing, this is pretty much it, you know? And I think the first one was in Admiralty Grey, so if you want to go, you know, real, proper historical, that's the one to go for. Before you attach it, put the Casio where it would be worn and make note of its location. Make sure you place the Casio the same way up as your main watch, with the spacing you made a note of earlier. Then position the strap in the desired spot and push the 18mm spring bar into one of the holes, and then use a spring bar tool to guide in the other end into place. Make sure it is then securely connected, and Bob's your uncle. There you have it. Now you have a Rolex Explorer with a ton more functionality without detracting from the simplicity and beauty of the time-only watch itself. Guardate che figo, ragazzi, guardate, eh? So now I can even go jogging with the Rolex Explorer or my Submariner, which I often do, and I can time the jog with a three-hand watch only, but still utilizing the complications in this. Fantastic, chuffed to bits, you know. What did I want to say lastly? Oh yeah, the water resistance. I know it's only 30 meters, the stated water resistance, but guys, it's actually a lot tougher than that. I've left this very Casio, I left it in my pockets of my jeans, went in the washing machine, survived it absolutely fine. I shower with this one on after my jog. I know people who've gone diving even with a Casio F-91W, seriously. They are tough little cookies, so don't worry about the water resistance, okay? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts, queries, comments, opinions, all the rest of it down below. Oh, don't forget to like this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Ciao.